Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow with Trader Summit, and I have Mr. Dick Matthews with Pardus FX here. How are you? Good to see you. And what's happening today? What's happening in the markets?
Hey, good to see you, Blake. Interesting. Not that much volatility in FX recently, which is interesting in a way. And I think a lot of participants are taking a breath and starting to reassess what they should be looking at. So basically, we've been looking at interest rates for the last God knows how long, and the dollar's been leading the charge, and the Fed's been leading the charge, and everything been fine and dandy and buy dollars. Then you get this problem with SVB, and all of a sudden we have to start reassessing what we're looking at. And I think people are starting to look at the risk scenarios in Europe, US, and the UK.
So now, when you say or assessing the risk versus the Europe and the UK and the US, when you're looking at these three dirty shirts, which one's the dirtiest right now to you?
When I say assessing risk, I'm saying what I'm thinking of is risk of another banking hiccup.
But which one of these shirts is the dirtiest?
I think the US is the dirtiest. I think
really,
yeah, loath as I am to say it. I think that there's much more likelihood of some problems cropping up again in the US than there is in Europe at the moment. However, I wouldn't rule out a really big catastrophic failure in Europe in the future.
So let me ask you this, just because I'm going to take a step back to the financial crisis back in, well, we can even go to the European financial crisis, the GFC, years before, in 2008 with the failure of Bear Stearns and Lehman. When there was a catastrophic failure, the markets rushed to dollars. Do you not think that's going to be the case this time around?
I'm not convinced that it will be. You've also got the divergence in interest rates. All of a sudden, going back to fundamentals, you've got this divergence in interest rates. And I think the perception, and I'm not saying the perception is correct, but the perception is that the Fed is almost done on this hiking cycle, whereas the ECB is still being very, very hawkish and talking a hawkish book. The Bank of England, God only knows what they're going to do. They're just talking nonsense, and I'll come back to that in a minute. So I think that also is in there a little bit. And I think that people are starting to worry about the dollar. You see this nonsense about, China and Russia ganging up on the dollar. I don't think that's the play, but all these little bits and pieces are starting to get people a little bit bearish of the dollar.
So now let's talk about the UK and the banking sector in the UK. I mean, your financial services sector makes up for a big chunk of UK GDP. So do you think there's any risks there?
Famous last words. I don't think there is. I think there's going to be some refinancing and playing around with balance sheets after the change in attitude towards AT1 bonds and CoCos. I think Barclays Bank is particularly exposed to that. It's got like 28 billion or something, which they may have to refinance. But I think the banking sector over in the UK is pretty solid at the moment. You could again have problems with commercial property, which I think you're going to get worldwide. And I don't think the commercial property is any worse in the UK, i.e. banks will want to de-risk themselves, get out of their loans. Commercial properties, not the best looking girl on the block at the moment. So I think that could come under a bit of pressure. But I think that's a problem worldwide. So yeah, I like the UK banking sector. I don't like the Bank of England, but I like the UK banking sector.
All right. Well, Dick, what's your best play out there right now? How are you going to play your ideas?
I think at the moment, and bear in mind we are coming up to month end, year end, every bloody end, weekend.
Yes.
Followed rapidly by April Fool's Day, which I think's probably quite a good date to have. I would be looking to, no, wash my mouth out after this. I'm looking to be a bit long at the euro and sterling and yen over the dollar. Sterling, I think, is probably got another cent or so on the upside, up towards 124.5, which it keeps banging its head on before coming back down. Because I think fundamentally the UK still got some problems away from the banking sector. I think politically there's some tail risk here. So I'd be a buyer of sterling, yen, and euro, and a seller of the dollar.
Wow. Wow. Well, this is a departure from your usual stance in the FX market. So,
yeah.
And what happens when we get to 124.5 in the sterling dollar? What would you do there?
I think it's 124.45 is the number, and I think it's hit its head there 3 times. I think we looked at this a week or so ago. I think if it touches that again, that I'd be a seller. I'd probably have a stop at something like 125, but I'd look to get short there.
You'd like to be short up at those levels once again,
yeah.
I mean, and you're right. Just looking at the chart here, we've been up at this 124.45 level twice. This would be a third time.
Yeah,
and
it just gets giddy up there, doesn't it?
It does. So you'd like to be a seller up at those levels.
Yeah,
okay.
I think so. And that would be my one conviction trade. That trade, I'd be quite happy. I'd run a stop on it because you don't know what might pop out.
Sure.
Sort of like 125 or something. But I'd be quite comfortable getting short there.
All right. Well, Dick, I want to thank you for spending your time with us. Tell us what you do at Pardus FX and how we can follow your work.
You can follow me on Pardus FX website or on our LinkedIn page where I post normally post a daily update. I couldn't get to work today because bloody trains were working, excuse my language. No electricity on the train line, unbelievable. So I normally post on there. I'm active on Twitter, which you can follow me at Dickie Matthews on Twitter.
Great. Well, thank you, Mr. Matthews. I appreciate you spending time with us. If you like what you hear here on Trader Summit, make sure you give a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of this exclusive content. I love catching up with you every week, and it's really, really cool to hear a little bit different tune coming out of your mouth today.
We will see. We will see. Anyway, have a good week now.
You do the same. Thank you.
Cheers out. Bye.
Hey traders, Blake Morrow here. Thanks for stopping by our YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Also click the bell notifications so you do not miss any of our market-related trading analysis from some of the leading industry experts. Thanks for stopping by. We'll see you in the next video.